Coming up on Mountain News this morning, it is a new day in Damascus as insurgents topple a brutal regime. And an iconic cathedral reopened its doors this past Sunday as people from around the world came to worship at Notre Dame.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We are inching up to that 5 o'clock mark this Monday morning, and today is December 9th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, they should not be like me. They should not forget their umbrella this morning.
They definitely should not. Maybe even a raincoat could be necessary as you're leaving the door this morning, because we do have some places a little bit cooler than others, but comparative to last week, these temperatures are quite nice. I mean, we're starting off the day with temperatures in the 40s. Some places are in that 50 mark already, so we're off to a good start, and we're going to continue to see those temperatures warm up. And as we go into those forecast highs, the 60s, with, of course, the exception of Virginia and West Virginia, a little bit on the cooler side, but it's just going to be a nice day minus the rain, but that will be moving through our area. So again, that raincoat might be necessary. Definitely an umbrella if you have one, as we continue to see these rain chances this morning, and that will continue for the next couple of hours. And those winds aren't that bad this morning, a little bit more elevated than we normally have them. So just make sure you're being prepared for those slick roads this morning with the rain falling. Now, here's your forecast for today, as the rain should be tapering off around that 10 a.m. mark, leaving for some slight chances throughout the rest of your day. And overall, not bad temperatures, 61 by the time 4 p.m. rolls around. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. This morning, there's jubilation and new questions after the fall of Syria's brutal dictator. The 24-year rule of Bashar al-Assad came to an end during the weekend as rebels advanced into the capital after a swift, days-long offensive. CBS News' Naomi Ruckham has the latest from New York.
Celebration in Syria after the downfall of Bashar al-Assad. In just days, armed rebels took key cities before claiming the capital, Damascus.
The speed at which that unfolded was surprising, I think, to most everybody in the international community.
Russian state media outlets report that Assad and his family fled to Moscow and were given asylum. His once impenetrable palace ransacked. As his country descended into a bloody, nearly 14-year civil war, Assad was propped up by Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah militants who carried out a brutal campaign of documented war crimes, including indiscriminate airstrikes and chemical weapons attacks. Overnight, dozens of Syrian migrants who fled to neighboring Turkey lined up at the border, hoping to return home.
At long last, the Assad regime has fallen.
Yesterday, President Joe Biden said it is a moment of both historic opportunity and one of risk and uncertainty as Syria pivots from more than 50 years of Assad family rule.
This process will be determined by the Syrian people themselves. The United States will do whatever we can to support them.
The U.S. military says it conducted airstrikes on ISIS targets in central Syria Sunday. Israel has deployed forces into a buffer zone along its shared border with Syria, saying it's to ensure the safety of its citizens. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Yesterday, President Biden acknowledged ongoing efforts to find American journalist Austin Tice, who went missing in Syria 12 years ago. The president says he believes Tice is alive and that he is committed to returning him to his family. Kentucky Senate President Robert Stivers was in Louisville Saturday for the Kentucky Farm Bureau's annual meeting. Stivers spoke about the upcoming legislative session and a second Trump administration could impact farmers. He also explained how Kentucky cities help the farming industry.
120 counties come here to this county to go to the Fair and Exposition Center because they're wanting to see the ag community and what goes on in it. So it's a big economic development tourism driver for Jefferson County.
On that issue and continue to
remind The Bureau also re-elected Webster County farmer Eddie Melton as its president. He's served in the Bureau as the president for the past 16 years. The Democratic Governors Association announced Governor Andy Beshear has been chosen to serve as vice chair for the year 2025 and chair-elect in 2026. The vote happened at the annual DGA meeting in Los Angeles. Beshear will serve as vice chair as Kansas Governor Laura Kelly continues to serve as the chair, a position she's held since August. In a statement, Governor Beshear said he's excited to build on his record of bringing people together by helping communities across the country. The faithful returned to the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris yesterday. The famed cathedral hosted Mass for the first time since a devastating fire in 2019. French President Emmanuel Macron, dignitaries, and bishops from around the world were among the 2,500 guests attending the service, which was closed to the public. But behind the scenes, dedicated workers were the ones who rebuilt and restored the cathedral to its former glory.
And it's gratifying to know that I've helped create something better than what it was, and it will outlast my lifetime.
And the public largely demanded the religious services this week, with all of the places being reserved within 24 minutes of going online. A kindergarten teacher in Louisville is continuing a tradition of giving back to her students. For the past 6 years, Carrie Thompson gifted each of her students with a new coat, hat, and a pair of gloves before winter break. Many students at her school are low income. Thompson says providing a basic need like warmth makes it easier for kids to learn.
Every year, the excitement on the kids' face when they get those hats and gloves, it's like getting them to take them. I have to wait until the end of the day to give them to them because they won't take them off once they have them, because it's something that a lot of the kids don't have access to.
Thompson uses a website called Donors Choose to pay for the new gear. The site raised more than $140 million this year to help public school teachers fund classroom resources. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, decorating is popular this time of year, but can also pose a danger to many unaware Americans.
And warmer weather is ahead for the beginning portions of your week. More coming up.